Okay, so we will start now. So welcome and good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the meeting of the Georges River Planning Panel for the 3rd of March 2022, which due to COVID-19 is being held electronically. My name is Sue Francis and I'm the chair of the panel. The members of the panel are located remotely in order to satisfy the Australian Government New South Wales health order in consistency with directions for non-essential gatherings and meetings. The panel who make up the panel today, the members who make up the panel today are Nicholas Skelton, expert panel member, Awais Piracha, expert panel member, and George Vardis being the community representative on the panel. We're the panel who've been appointed by the Minister for Planning to determine specified development applications, including development applications that are on the agenda today in accordance with the requirements of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. I'd like to acknowledge country, and the panel acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting is being broadcast as that of the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation. I'm required to advise you that
George.
Excuse me, could you please put your everything on mute? Thank you. I'm required to advise you that under the provisions of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act, this meeting of the panel is being live streamed and will be made available on Council's website. And in accordance with the revised meeting protocols for COVID-19, interested parties wishing to make representations to the panel were requested to register a summary of their interests, and a total of 4 registrations were received and forwarded to the panel. The panel's received registrations from Bernard Morose, in relation to 10 to 12 Connolly, William Caravellas in relation to 10 to 12 Connolly Street, Penshurst, Palin Brodbeck in relation to 10 to 12 Connolly Street, Penshurst, and Brad Piera, 12 to 21 Wyonis Street, Beverley Park. The panel have received 2 completed assessment reports from Council for the 2 development applications before us, and the panel has undertaken inspections, some in person, some virtually, due to particular circumstances of the individual panel member. We'll be dealing with each application in order as published on the Council's website, being first 10 to 12 Connolly Street, Penshurst, which is for the demolition of 2 existing dwelling houses and the construction of a 4-storey residential flat building consisting of 9 apartments, and 12 to 21 Wyonis Street, Beverley Park, which is a modification of a pre-existing development application. As required by the local planning panel code of conduct, panel members are required to disclose any conflicts of interest in respect of any matter on the agenda, and those forms are prescribed by the New South Wales Department of Planning, and they've been completed and are tabled for Council to be included on the online minutes of this meeting. As we progress through the matters on the agenda, only those persons who have registered to speak will verbally be able to make any representation to the panel, and I would ask those persons that are invited to speak to the panel via Skype or via Teams that they speak clearly and of a volume that will project into the speakers to assist those viewing the live stream, and so they can hear clearly what is being said. And at this time, I remind those persons that any defamatory, discriminatory or offensive language used may result in the author being exposed to liability for which Council and the panel take no responsibility. And in this respect, just to remind you, the speakers will be permitted to speak for 3 minutes, after which members of the panel may wish to ask questions. Once we've heard all the oral submissions on a particular application, we'll move on to the next item. And then the determination of the application will be made in closed session, which is not live streamed or recorded. The determination will be available on Council's website within 24 hours of the meeting being held. So what we'll do now is we'll call the first item, which is 10 to 12 Connolly Street, Penshurst Street. And I think Council staff may have some comments to raise before we actually move into the item.
Thank you.
Lisa?
That's correct. I'm Lisa Pemberton, the Assessing Officer for this development application at 10 to 12 Connolly Street. I just wanted to note that there were 2 typographical errors in the assessment report. One on page 1 in the development data table should read 3 submissions, not 2. 3 submissions are referred to throughout the report. And then in paragraph 98, there was a typographical error. This paragraph should read, "This RFB has been sensitively designed to respond to the constraints of the site and fits within the local context of other existing 3-storey residential flat buildings in the locality.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Lisa. Okay, and in relation to this, I think we have Mr. Brodeck, is that right, Kath?
Yes, Mr. Broadbeck.
Broadbeck, sorry, my apologies.
No problem. I'll just try and unmute.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Broadbeck. What do you want the panel to hear from you today?
Just regarding the tree on the back fence.
Yep.
Like it's currently pushing over our fence, and so I'm just wondering if we can get that removed, like during the process.
Is this the fern-looking plant that you sent the photograph of?
Yeah, it's like a palm tree, I think.
I think it is, if I recall the plans, the landscape plans, it is to be removed as part of the proposal and is being replaced by a lily-pilly hedge.
Okay. That's cool. That's awesome then. What do we do about the fence then? Because it's probably going to be like floppy afterwards, eh?
Well, the matter of the fence is a matter between two parties, and I don't know that the fence is part of this application, but I'll ask the applicant when we get to hear from him.
Okay. No
Thank
worries.
you.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so I have two representatives, I think, from the applicant. Is that right? Bernard Morose and William Caravellas, is that right?
That's correct.
Are they online?
Yes, correct.
They are. Bernard and William?
Yes.
What can you tell me about the fence first off?
I was just having a quick look at the landscaping plan to see if that had any the landscaping plan, all it says is that a maximum 1.8 metre high timber paling fence to side and rear boundaries. I don't think our client would have any problem in replacing that back fence. If it's in poor condition, he's going to want it to look the best it can. So I can't see an issue in him replacing the fence.
So if we were to put a condition to that effect, you wouldn't object to that one?
No, that'd be fine.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Any particular issues you want to raise or highlight to the panel?
Well, look, nothing in particular. I mean, we agree with the findings of council and the report. We think it covers all the issues rather well. The only thing I would ask in condition 29B, which is to do with waste management, the condition asks for us to either put a garbage chute in the foyers or a bin holding room. Council's DCP only requires a garbage chute to be provided in buildings of 8 stories or more.
Yes, I think we agree with that, and I think council officers have given us an amended condition to that effect.
Okay, so yeah, so if we could also the bin holding room, given we've got a tight foyer, if we could dispense with that'd be great. Given it's only 9 units in total in the building and only 3 stories, we don't think it's really going to be a problem for someone to carry their garbage down the lift or down the stairs to the basement bin holding area. So if council would look at that, it would be appreciated.
Okay, we will talk to council staff on that one. Any questions from the panel to the applicant and his representatives? No from Nick, no from Away, and no from George. It's too easy.
Thanks.
Anything? Is that okay?
That's fine from us.
Thanks,
okay,
Madam Chair. Thanks, panel
thank
members.
you very much. Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we'll move on to the next item, which is 13 to 21 Waiuna Street, Beverley Park. Now, again, I think staff had some questions in relation to this particular item or some highlights they wanted to raise.
Yes, thanks,
Lindley.
Sue.
Yep.
My name's Lindley Love. I'm the assessing officer for this application. Following publishing of the report, it came to our attention that there were some corrections to be made. Firstly, in condition 1, we had to update the stormwater plans to the one submitted as part of this modification application, and also condition 26 in relation to waste storage.
I got the wrong waste issue, didn't
Yes.
I did.
Other application.
Sorry.
So this one's correcting the number of bins to be provided for the development.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any particular issues, Mr. De La Pierre, you want to raise with us?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I was more here to answer any questions panel members may have, and I do thank Lindley for briefing on the conditions that we requested some changes to. It's much appreciated.
Yes, we have got the information on those brought through. Any particular questions? I thought some of the panel members might have a couple of questions of the applicant's representative.
I don't.
George, you're on mute.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yes, I have a question. Could you please explain why one of the two central fire stairs is being replaced? Because in the report from council, it's stated that it's as a result of consultation with the fire engineer, which I presume is Holmes Fire, and the document that accompanied the application states simply that following a preliminary review of the plans, Holmes Fire is of the opinion that the development will be able to satisfy the requirements of the BCA, subject to performance solutions, without the need to submit a further 4.55 modification. Could you please elaborate on why that's the case and why there's going to be only one egress and not two for the purposes of fire?
Yes, well, I'll start off by saying I'm a town planner, so certainly not a BCA expert in any means, but certainly you're right. The client has consulted with fire consultants, including the author of the letter that we provided to council, and they are confident that they, to comply with the requirements of the National Construction Code, they will be able to only provide one set of fire stairs in the building using a performance solution. So yes, it is correct to say that performance solution hasn't been prepared, but certainly our client has had discussions with fire engineers who have indicated that they will support it in that means.
They haven't provided any additional information at this stage, I take it.
No, not in writing, but certainly our client is verbally confident that they is confident that they can proceed with the plans as they proposed. If they can't, we would need to come back before council with another modification to effectively reinstate the stair if we're unable to get an approval via a performance solution.
Thank you. Nothing further.
I have a question, a general broad question, and the question is, there has been an amendment previously also, so this proposal is going through lots of amendments. May I ask, why is that? What's happening?
I think you'll find that the previous amendment was due to some a typing mistake in the consent that referenced some wrong plans. That was what's known in the language as a 4.551 modification, which is an error or a miscalculation. And this is what I typically see for a project is a 1A modification that facilitates its construction. So our client has teams of construction workers ready to start construction, and that's pending the outcome of this. So yes, in reality, it's one modification to the scheme because the previous modification was a result of a typographical error.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, unfortunately, just one modification to any development application is quite unique. It's usually more than one for everyone, unfortunately. Nick, do you have any questions or queries?
No, I don't. No, it all seems all here. Thank you.
Thank you. Brad, nothing more you want to add to what we've already looked at?
No, thank you for your time, and I hope the deliberations go well for us. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Well, with that being the case, that's the last item we have. I will close the meeting at 4:15 and we will go into closed session. So that means Kath, we log out of this one and log into the other link. Is that right?